Evening, old as gold family. Why do so many people die before reaching 85, even when they appear completely fine in their 70s? It is a question that quietly troubles many older people, especially those who hope to stay strong, alert, and able to live independently for as long as possible. You may be eating well, keeping up with your doctor's visits, and taking your medications on time. But what if I told you that some of the greatest risks to your lifespan come from small habits you either overlook or repeat every day? These are not sudden health events. They are slow, unnoticed patterns that gradually wear down your body and mind, often without any warning until real damage has been done. In today's video, we will explore 5 common mistakes that most people make without realizing they are cutting years off their life after 85. These are not basic wellness tips. These are realistic, honest observations based on actual experience lessons that doctors, caretakers, and even those who have outlived others often bring up again and again. Whether you are 65 or 80, these 5 issues could be the reason your health is slipping faster than it should. And even better, we will also talk about simple steps you can take now to reverse the process. So if you truly want to get the most out of your later years by staying mobile, clear-headed, and greeting each day with energy and purpose, you should definitely stick around. Every point we cover will help you move one step closer to living, not just longer, but better. Let's get into the 5 main reasons many people do not make it past 85, and how you can avoid becoming one of them. Mistake 1. Not moving enough daily. A major mistake people make after turning 65 is believing that only structured workouts matter. You know, the kind high-energy routines, fancy equipment, or programs that honestly do not suit your current lifestyle. Because of this belief, many older adults just stop trying altogether. But the truth is, you do not need a gym to stay alive longer. It is those small, everyday movements that really protect your health. Walking out to get the mail, kneeling to garden, reaching into a cabinet, or standing while chatting, these actions quietly keep your body in working order. When you cut back on movement, even just a little each day, your muscles start to shrink, your joints tighten, your balance becomes more unsteady. The worst part, these problems usually creep up slowly, until one day you fall or wake up too drained to dress yourself. That is how the downward spiral starts, not with a big event, but a slow fade. And it is not just your body that is affected. Movement helps your blood flow, your brain stay active, and your mood stay stable. When you move around, you send more blood to your brain. You also release feel-good chemicals. Your lungs expand, your bones get stronger, and your digestive system keeps working well. But when you spend long hours sitting day after day, your body quietly begins to shut things down. It's as if your brain concludes, "We are not needed anymore," and starts switching everything off. One striking study found that even 3 minutes of standing up and moving around every half an hour of movement lowered the risk of dying early by more than 30%. Not by running or lifting weights, just by moving gently. But sadly, many people do not realize how valuable that is. Let me tell you about Walter, a retired bus driver living in Iowa. He was 78 and had stopped most of his movement after he left work. He did not feel unwell. He had no serious problems, but he told his daughter, "I just feel slower and more stiff every year," after a minor fall while getting out of bed. His doctor warned him, "Your body is weakening faster than it should." That made him take things seriously. So instead of joining a gym, Walter chose something different. He made a rule not to sit for more than 30 minutes without standing up. Sometimes he would stretch, walk around the house, or do light leg lifts at the sink, but he kept moving. And 6 months later, he said he felt 5 years younger, not because he worked harder, but because he stayed active. This story matters because many older people start to believe a risky idea, that it is normal to become inactive. Yes, some slowing is expected, but giving up movement is not. When we treat activity as optional, we bring on the very problems we hope to avoid, like losing control over our lives. The truth is, living longer is not about being the fastest or strongest or youngest. It is about staying active, even if that just means walking circles in your living room. So if you are over 65 and want to see 85 and beyond, Remember this clearly, every bit of movement matters. You do not have to become an athlete. You just need to keep moving, because once you stop, your body begins planning for a different future, one that you probably do not want. Keep walking, keep stretching, keep standing. That is how you stay around longer. Mistake 2. Skipping preventive health checks. One of the most common reasons people do not live past 85 is not a serious injury or sudden illness. It is the quiet issues they never notice in time. That happens because many older people only visit the doctor when something hurts. They skip regular checkups, ignore small warning signs, and assume it is all part of getting older. But this kind of thinking can cost you several good years. You see, many dangerous health problems like high blood pressure, diabetes, or certain cancers do not cause pain when they begin. They grow slowly, quietly harming your body, affecting your blood flow, your organs, and your immune system without any clear signal. By the time signs show up, a lot of damage may already be done. But if found early, most of these issues can be treated, managed, or even reversed. The only trick is, you must catch them first. Here is the challenge. It is normal for people to avoid discomfort. Nobody likes doctor visits, hearing difficult news, or going through tests. But if you are over 65, skipping your yearly exams is like driving a car and never checking the oil. It may look fine until one day the engine breaks down without warning. That is how many people end up in hospitals, hearing the words, "If only we had found this earlier." Let me share Evelyn's story. She was 72, a grandmother from Ohio. She felt all right, no real pain, just a bit tired sometimes. But her daughter encouraged her to get a full health check just in case. It turned out Evelyn's blood sugar was very high. She was almost diabetic and had no idea. But since she caught it in time, she made a few changes, stopped eating sweet snacks and started walking after dinner. And within a year, her health numbers were back to a safe range. No medicines, no hospital stays, just awareness followed by action. Why do so many people avoid this one thing? Fear of bad results, fear of aging, or fear of hearing something unpleasant. But strangely, facing that fear gives you strength. It hands the control back to you. When you understand what is happening inside your body, you are able to take steps. You make informed choices, not excuses. And that is often what separates those who stay healthy in their 80s from those who do not make it past their 70s. There's another harmful belief many people have. If I do not know, it cannot harm me. But for older adults, the truth is the opposite. What you are unaware of can be exactly what puts you at risk. Think about screenings like colonoscopies, mammograms, blood pressure readings, and prostate exams. They are not just to detect illness, they are to secure your future. They act like guardrails on a winding road. They help keep you steady, even when the way ahead is unclear. And do not forget the emotional impact. Getting checked regularly is not only about catching sickness, it also brings peace of mind. Knowing your health numbers, having a doctor who knows your story, and working on a plan together builds confidence, and confidence leads to better routines, improved sleep, and lower stress. It starts a positive chain reaction. If you are still watching and finding this information useful, comment the number to below to let me know you are here. And if you have not subscribed yet, I suggest you do that and turn on the bell icon so you never miss an update. Your support helps us keep making content that can help and guide you. Now let us continue. Mistake 3. Cutting yourself off from people. One of the most silent threats to older adults is not cancer or heart trouble. It is loneliness. It is not talked about enough, but being isolated is a health risk as serious as smoking, high blood pressure, or obesity. When someone loses touch with friends, stays away from family, or no longer takes part in social life, something begins to slip away. They start to lose their sense of purpose. Their inner spark dims, and slowly the body responds to. This does not mean you need to be surrounded by people all the time or go to every event. It is about connection, real, meaningful connection. Having someone to laugh with, to speak with, to share your thoughts with. But sadly, as we grow older, many people begin to pull back. Maybe it is the pain of losing loved ones. Maybe we no longer feel as mentally sharp, or we think, I do not want to bother others. So we stay home, we stay silent, and over time, we begin to fade, not just from others' lives, but from our own. The research is clear. Studies show that older adults who live in constant loneliness have a 26 to 45% greater risk of dying early. Why? Because isolation breaks down everything. It messes with your sleep. It weakens your body's defenses. It causes anxiety, sadness, and even problems with memory and thinking. Your brain needs connection just like your body needs water. When those emotional connections are not used, they shrink. Take George, for example. He is 78 and lives in Arizona. After his wife passed away, he spent almost 2 years talking to no one but the mail carrier. His health started falling apart. He lost weight, stopped grooming, and his arthritis worsened. But everything turned around when a neighbor asked him to a weekly coffee meetup at the nearby community center. He did not want to go, but he went anyway. That single step of courage led to new friendships, shared laughter, and the feeling that he still mattered. Within a few months, his mood lifted. He started sleeping better. Even the pain in his body became easier to handle. The truth is, staying connected helps us live, not just physically, but also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. But to keep that connection alive, we need to reach out. Even when it feels difficult, we need to make the call, accept the invite, join the group, or begin the talk. Waiting for someone to notice our loneliness rarely works. People are busy, distracted, or simply unaware. You have to be the one to step forward and create connection. And here's the deeper part. When you withdraw, it is not only others who lose out on your presence, you lose parts of yourself too. It is in those shared moments, the laughter, and the simple act of being heard, that we feel whole again. The stories you tell and the knowledge you carry matter. You matter. And your presence in someone's day could be just what they needed. Just as their presence may be exactly what you need right now. If you have been feeling alone or distant, do not wait for a perfect chance. Just begin small. Call an old friend. Step into a library. Say hello to someone next door. These small, brave steps create a path back to life. And when you walk across it, you may discover what you thought was gone. Your happiness, your energy, your spark was waiting for you all along. Mistake 4. Ignoring ongoing inflammation. Here is something most people over 60 do not realize. That constant ache in your knees, the stiffness in your lower back, or swelling in your fingers might not just be aging. It could be long-term inflammation, and if not managed, it can do more than make you feel sore. It can slowly raise your chances of getting heart disease, Alzheimer's, diabetes, arthritis, and even dying early. Short-term inflammation is actually helpful. It is your body's way of fixing itself. You get a cut, and inflammation helps it heal. But when the body stays in that state too long, day after day, it begins damaging the healthy parts instead of helping them. It is like having a fire that keeps burning in one corner of your home. It may not destroy everything at once, but the small damage builds up over time. The problem is, most people have no idea they are living with it. There is no loud signal. It appears as tiredness, mental fog, some puffiness, a little joint pain, but these are early signs, and many older adults mistake them for just getting older, when really it is the body asking for help. Let me tell you about Nancy. She is 73 and had been living with joint aches, low energy, and catching colds often. Her doctor finally did some testing and found that her body showed signs of high inflammation. But instead of giving her more medicine, they tried another approach. Nancy started avoiding highly processed food and added anti-inflammatory foods like leafy greens, turmeric, tea, and salmon twice a week. She also began taking a 20-minute walk each morning, rain or shine. 3 months later, she said she felt like a different person. Her joints were not perfect, but she could move better. Her mind felt sharper, and she even said she felt happier. That is because inflammation does not only affect your body, it affects your mind. When inflammation increases, your brain chemistry changes. You feel more on edge, sad, or emotionally worn down. And if left alone, that emotional pressure can lead to loneliness, exhaustion, and a sense of giving up, all of which can bring faster decline than necessary. But here is the good news. You have more control over inflammation than you may believe. It all begins with what you choose to eat. Sweet treats, deep-fried items, and processed meats add to the damage. But foods like berries, olive oil, nuts, and green tea do the opposite. They help cool things down, add in a bit of daily movement, restful sleep, and lowering your stress. And you are not just easing the pain. You are working on the root of aging itself. And here's why it really matters. Every single time you make an effort to cut down inflammation, your body hears something important. You are not giving in. You still care. And that mindset, it changes a lot. You shift from just making it through the day to actually enjoying it. From waking up with dread to being curious about what the day might bring. So if you have been ignoring those small pains, or telling yourself that being tired is just part of aging, take a pause. Maybe your body is sending you a signal, and the earlier you catch it, the more time, and better time, you can add to your life. If you are still watching this video, and feel that it has helped, type the number 4 in the comments so I know you are here. And if you are not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that now. And turn on the bell so you will not miss anything we post. Your support makes it possible for us to keep creating helpful videos that inform and encourage you. Now let's go on. Mistake 5. Living without a sense of direction. There's a reason people who live with purpose tend to live longer. It is not some mystery. It is how your body, your mind, and your nature work together in quiet but strong ways. When you wake up each day with something to look forward to, even if it is small, you give your brain something to focus on, your body something to do, and your heart a reason to keep beating with hope. But too often, after age 65, people slowly slide into days that feel empty. Work ends, the children grow up, the calendar gets quiet, and without even noticing, the days start to blur together. They eat, take naps, maybe watch some TV, look through old photos, but that light inside begins to fade. Time passes, but it no longer feels like living. That is not aging. That is losing connection. And that lack of connection is one of the biggest hidden dangers to a long life that most people do not talk about. Having a purpose is not about big dreams or launching a business. It could be something as simple as growing flowers, helping out someone nearby, picking up a new hobby, or just being the person your grandkids can rely on. Purpose gives your days shape and meaning, and when people lose that, they often begin to shrink inside, not just emotionally, but physically too. Researchers even have a word for this: existential frailty. It means when the lack of meaning begins to harm your health. Your body's defense system gets weaker. You feel less driven. You stop reaching out to others, stop trying out new ideas, and slowly step away from the world. And without that daily purpose, the body follows the mind. Muscles start to shrink, the mind becomes slower, and joy becomes harder to feel. Let me share something about Robert. He was 78 when his wife passed away, and he said it felt like his life just shut down. For a while, he was just getting by, eating whatever was simple, sleeping most of the time, and not caring if he saw anyone or not. Then one day, his daughter asked if he could help her son with a school project, carving wood. Robert had been a carpenter, and that small request sparked something. He started spending his afternoons showing his grandson easy carving skills. Later, the neighbor's son joined too. Then a nearby church asked if he would lead a weekend workshop. In 6 months, Robert felt something he had not felt in a long time: pride. He had a reason to wake up, get ready, smile, and plan his days. And here's the amazing part: his blood pressure went down. He had more energy, and he said for the first time in years, he felt truly alive. That is what purpose does. It is not just about feeling happier. It helps you live longer, and not just with more years, but with better days, more laughter. You create bonds that in turn boost your brain, protect your heart, and help keep depression away. It starts with one simple question: what brings meaning to my life right now? So, if you are retired, have lost a loved one, or just feel like your best moments are behind you, take a pause and reflect. Your purpose might have shifted. Most likely it has, but that does not mean it has disappeared. It could be buried beneath grief, daily habits, or fear, but it is still there. And the moment you try to find it again, your life moves forward. Because living longer is not about avoiding death. It is about fully living, especially when life looks different than it used to. That is when it truly matters. Final thoughts. Worcester Warmont. The truth is, reaching the age of 85 is not only about lucky genes or fortunate events. It is about the choices we make, small daily choices that slowly add up over the years. Most people do not pass early due to one major error. It is the result of repeating small, unnoticed ones every day. They forget to care for their bodies, stop challenging their minds, distance themselves from others, and slowly lose the drive that once gave life meaning. Aging is not the end of your story. It is the start of a new part. But what that part looks like, whether it is full of love, health, and connection, or full of regret, depends on how you decide to live it. As ChatGPT put it, you are still holding the pen. That alone gives hope. So ask yourself this: what is one small thing you can do differently today? Can you step outside for a short walk instead of staying in? Can you call someone rather than wait for them to reach out? Can you finally schedule that checkup you have been avoiding? Or maybe just sit quietly with a warm drink and ask yourself, what brings me happiness now? Because the secret to a long life is not hidden in a lab or stored in a medical file. It lies in your choices, your relationships, your way of thinking, and your belief that your life still holds meaning. And it does more than you might imagine. Thank you for spending time with us today. We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment and tell us one insight you gained today and how you plan to apply it. Your words truly matter to us, so feel free to share. Reading your comments gives us energy and inspiration. If this video helped or moved you, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support allows us to keep creating content that helps and inspires you. Thanks again for watching. We will see you in the next video. Take care, Old as Gold family.